to this country. I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country. I built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country.
That's right.
So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America? So let's send a message. Let's send a message to Kamala Harris. Let's send a message to every hardworking patriot from Minnesota across the country. We are ready to have President Donald J. Trump back, and we're going to work our tails off to make sure it happens. God bless you all. Thank you. And thank you for having me, Minnesota. A great state.
Now, listen, again, I leave it to your judgment. If you think that that is weird, vote accordingly, I suppose. To me, I mean, it's kind of this, you want your son to grow up and accomplish, right? You want your daughter to marry a dude like that.
I'm sending it to everybody. I don't care. Everybody's getting it.
Exactly
anybody who will let me hit and send it to, I'm sending it.
Even with the odds against him. And yeah, he fought in Joe Biden's war over in Iraq wearing a uniform. And now they reduce him to being weird. You know why they don't call J.D. Vance? You know why they call him weird? Because he's saying stuff that they're not used to hearing. He's actually Minnesota and down to Oklahoma.
We're live. What's up? Three y'all here. Welcome down to the shop, y'all. We got the shop down here at my shop.
Innovative free trade.
This is Adkins fabrication. This is the machinist corner right here. We down here chilling. I got y'all in cut where you're looking this way on
there, and he speaks for them. He's concerned about migration policy. He's concerned about the brain drain that happens in small town rural America, where people are left behind because all of the young people who got their education there leave and go to urban centers and live on the coast and let those cities literally decay into piles of rust. What about the people who still live? Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and their friends in the media who think that J.D. Vance is weird, they would just put their hand and say, they can. So J.D. Vance actually cares about those people. He talks about those people. He talks with those people. He talks for them.
Hey, I want to let you know, a day ago,
now you can call that
Max Fox, what's up, babe?
Go ahead.
I want to let y'all know, a day ago, we went live, and we did it out there in the other shop, right?
Now, the media has been exposed
40K views, 40,477 views the last time I looked up here. We're up to 800 subscribers. Let's go. If you're new to the channel, go over to my channel and subscribe for me, guys. I really appreciate it, man. X and D, what's up, bro?
Part of the reason why so many people love
Pinto beans,
because you basically made
ice wall O'Connor. What? Okay. Welcome.
You set this label onto Trump, it's only taken off. And the campaign is using it, surrogates are using it. Pretty simple.
Who's asking for this crazy stuff? Who's asking to raise the price of insulin? Who's asking to get rid of control? They these focus groups or whatever. Who's sitting in a bar and racing, Wisconsin, saying, we really need to ban animal farm? Nobody is. They're talking about real things.
Let's see here. Can we swing y'all around? You see the saw? You see the saw? There we go. I'm back, Jackson Tag. What up, bro? Welcome. Reyes, why do you do that?
I'll go ahead and note it for you because that's why you come here.
I ain't got no grass, bro.
He's the advocate for the Kamala Harris campaign. He's the governor from Minnesota, right? He's the one who they threw out the jet to try to get him. Why? Suddenly he's on the short list.
Oh, so you're one of those guys.
Vice presidential
Jesus
candidate
is against
Kamala Harris. Why? You know, we're told that
Like
Kamala Harris wants
Pinto
to
did.
accomplish
Okay,
several things
whatever,
with
bro.
her running mate
She'll
choice.
take care of you.
She wants to get a white guy.
And mom's
Because,
basement?
you know,
Nah, bro.
that's how they think.
I
they
run
gotta
a
fill this out and
garage.
check a box.
This is a garage
And
I
I'm
run.
a woman of color, so let's get a white guy.
I'm from
Okay.
Baltimore,
So
Maryland,
it's going to be a
bro.
white guy. And it's going to be from a state that they're worried about. We're told it could be Mark Kelly
Nice to
in
meet you,
Arizona.
Alex.
It could be Josh
Alex.
Shapiro in Wisconsin. It could be the governor of North Carolina, although they've written off North Carolina at this point. It's unsalvageable. Or there's
Alex,
this guy from
Have you
Minnesota.
been here for a while, Alex? I'm 47.
As a
Sorry about that.
border
I
state.
started at 47, July 22nd.
And Minnesota literally is a Republican
This is my shop, my
since
machine shop.
1972. So why in the hell do they need two walls? What does he represent? I assure you, as somebody from Michigan, Minnesota aren't like Michigan, Ohio,
No, I'm thinking of
Wisconsin,
somebody else, not
and
Al.
Pennsylvania. It's a very different state.
Hey guys, do me a
So to
favor,
think
go
that
over and
having
hit that
him is
subscribe
gonna
button to
corrupt
the channel.
Pennsylvania?
Subscribe to the channel for
Sorry.
me, man. I need you guys
So
to
why
hit that
Minnesota?
subscribe
Why
button.
Minnesota? Why
I'm
Minnesota?
getting ready to start writing
Well,
guys'
I have a
names
hunch.
on the
I
back
have
of
a-
this wall if you
I have
subscribe
a-
to the channel.
Yeah, I have a
I
guess.
appreciate that. Trunk 2024, all day
Which brings
2016.
back to the clip I just showed you.
MMS,
that
you look
really
like...
effective rally that J.D. Vance held, where he was going on and on about his career and challenging Kamala Harris. This was in the first week after the convention where they sent J.D. Vance out there to do a rally all by himself. Did you notice where
MMS.
it was?
Had to remember that
Send a
them
message to the
abbreviations.
media. Let's send a message to Kamala Harris. Let's send a message to every hardworking patriot from Minnesota across the
That's a short
country.
enough way to
We're
get
ready
your
to
ass
have
up off of
President
here,
Donald Trump back, and we're going to work our tails off to make sure it happens. God bless you all. Thank you. And thank you for having me, Minnesota. A great state.
I think they're worried about this story. I think they're kind of panicked about this. And that's why they sent him out there to make fun of J.D. And when they can't get the government still, they get an odious left-wing political commentator like Molly Jones that on MSNBC, she took the weird thing one extra step. You know, they worried about the downfall of American families. He's worried that we're not going to babies to support the social structures, not government structures, Medicare and Social Security and getting taxpayers in there, but also about these towns, these communities that have been built and been standing for over 100 years and neglected or just decaying again, like I said, because of the retrograde policy. You've got Russell also in the Council of State, different governments in Spain, never coming back and bringing back their education and bringing back the things that they've learned and the skills that they've learned to help keep those cities thriving. And how do you keep those cities thriving? You've got kids, you got to have babies, and there seems to be a policy from abortion all the way down to embracing transgender and gender dysphoria as a value policy of the left that actually undercuts the idea of human beings procreating. And it doesn't take a great, visionary to understand. Look at Western
Trump
Europe.
2024, the blackest president ever. Hey, I can't argue with you
And their
there, bro.
birth rates are
I'm
greater.
proud of him that he's doing stuff for the
So
black
JD
community,
Vance
all
talks about
communities.
that.
I wanted to
And
do
talks
stuff for
about
all
the
communities,
embrace
but
that the
I
left
wanted to
has
show
of
that
the
there's no
childless
division
society.
between us no more, so
Pointing
we
out
need
that
to
that
do
leads
something
to
for the
financial
community. You're
cultural
absolutely
doom.
right.
So after
We don't
Molly
need no
Brown
more
fast, it's
division,
like,
man.
oh yeah, that's
No
really
more division, no
racist.
more separation. We need to come together, man. The world, we all need to come together and realize who it is that's really trying to separate us. I know ain't none of you got, well, I can't exactly say that because some of you guys some flimsy ass shit, right? But for the most part, I would think that none of you guys would be out to get somebody.
This nationalism that comes from authoritarian playbook, right? That there need to be more white children, right? That's the idea that there's, this is about great replacement theory, racism, right? So this.
You ever wonder if when they're putting together their talking points for a television
See how
show like
easy
this,
that is,
that they
though?
basically sort of use a Mad Libs formula? And they've got blanks. This is blank, and it comes from blank, and it really all about blank. And they basically just constantly fill in the same 8 words.
They shouldn't do
Authoritarianism, racism, great replacement theory, white supremacy. Just juggle the words up, throw them back down in the Mad Libs form, and you've got your answer. But I just want to point out, once again, this idea, oh no, it's not about having babies, it's about having white babies. That's why J.D. Vance is so incredibly dangerous. J.D. Vance is such a... If he is a white supremacist, he is the worst possible white supremacist. This is a man who's gone out of his way to bring into the world not 1, 3 mixed race children. I mean, if he's a white supremacist and only cares about white babies, why in the hell did he deliberately choose to bring in 3 mixed race babies? What is he? Does he loathe his own children because of their dirty blood? What is wrong with these people? Well, I'll answer. They're in city.
You see about 10 pixels? I had to lower. Oh, is the video messed up, bro? The video feed really messed up? Talk to me, talk to me.
Is evil morons, is what they are. And the moron part, I'm being generous. I'm going to be generous and think it's just stupid if you can't put 2 and 2 together to recognize that it's pretty close to being bad. To be a white nationalist, if he's very rural in this
And they said, you know, people say, I'm sure they did protest it, and maybe that's...
I just wanted to give it a try. Why, Cutter?
Saying Trump's a threat to democracy. Because no one thinks that. There are people that don't like him that think that, but they don't understand. Yeah, it wasn't resonating. So they say, you're trying to scare people, you're trying to put them in court, you're trying to put them in jail, that didn't work. Then you said he's a threat to democracy, that wasn't effective. So then you go, okay, what can we just say that's weird?
Yeah, pull it in there. Alright, give me a sec, guys.
I'm a little weird.
Try to make this a little better.
My parents are a little weird. So I don't
So I'm
think...
going to vote for the weird guy?
Right, yeah. I'm like, no, I kind of relate to somebody that's not perfect, a little quirky. We already know you cannot define Donald Trump to anybody on this planet. They've already made their opinion. And for J.D. Vance, maybe this approached him, but you saw the movie, you read the book, you know about his upbringing.
There you go, how's that
watched
better?
him run for Senate, you've seen him for 6 years,
Yeah.
or to a year and a half, but you watched him run for 1. So, I don't know how much weird is
I rewatched it. Great. Netflix. So a lot of people are watching Hillbilly Elegy right now, but I think that whole talking point is what's weird. It's such a strange, childish word to use to describe a candidate you're running against. Do you think that's effective? Is anyone going to say, "Oh, I'm not going to vote for that guy because everyone says he's weird"?
Okay, remember the Bowery Boys? Saturday mornings used to air.
What am I, 80?
Remember Satch and right? And what's the other guy? Muggsy? Yeah, but almost everybody that we watched on television growing up was quirky and weird. That's what made them special, right? Starting then. And so I just think that weird is cool.
All right. Well, I don't know about the Bowery Boys reference there, but I will agree with Kilmeade on this, and we'll leave it at this. If what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and the Republican Party laid out for us at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee is weird, first take it from the source. Who's calling it weird? The leftists are calling it weird. The leftists who, as J.D. Vance pointed out, are embracing J.D. Mulvaney as a hero. Excuse me, J.D. Mulvaney. Embracing Dylan Mulvaney as a hero. And celebrating Drag Queen Story Hour. And Pete Buttigieg going on a whites-only Zoom call telling guys that they got to vote for Kamala so that they have more freedom thanks to abortion. Now, those are the people who are calling us weird for our ideas, our policies, and a way of governing that actually kept us safe, peaceful, and prosperous for 4 years until Joe Biden and his Democrats ruined it all. They think we're weird. And if that's true, and if that's the case, and they get to redefine words in our culture because they're the left after all, then fine. Call me weird. Whatever. As long as we win.
They don't cut it when it's not incredibly good.
Yeah. She should have resigned the day of this shooting. She did not. She should have been fired the day of this shooting. She was not. Acting Director Rowe at least acknowledged that their failure to secure the roof from where the shooter fired was indefensible. That being said, he continued the pattern we have seen from the Biden administration of stonewalling in this hearing. In the immediate wake of the shooting, the Secret Service official spokesperson sent out a tweet saying, "The Trump team never asked for additional security. We never denied them additional security. In fact, we gave them additional security." We now know that tweet is a lie. The person who sent it, the Secret Service spokesperson, still has his job. The acting director refused to answer whether he personally approved that tweet. He refused to answer whether the then director approved that tweet. We now know because the Washington Post broke the story, not because the Secret Service told it, but because the Washington Post broke the story that repeatedly President Trump's team and President Trump's detail asked for additional agents, additional counter snipers, additional equipment, and repeatedly the Secret Service said no. When I asked the acting director at the hearing how many times did they ask for additional protection, he didn't know the answer to that. When I asked how many times were they denied, he didn't know the answer to that. When I asked who denied it, he said he didn't know the answer to that. He couldn't answer if it was him, couldn't answer if it was the previous director. He started talking about, well, there's a committee, and it was a marvel of bureaucratic nonsense. Apparently, in the Biden Secret Service, the buck's nowhere. Nobody has responsibility. I asked him, is the individual who denied additional coverage for President Trump the same individual who denied coverage for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? It's utterly indefensible that RFK went months without Secret Service protection. His father was assassinated running for president. His uncle was assassinated when he was president. RFK Jr. had multiple death attempts. And yet the Biden administration refused to give him Secret Service protection until after the attempted assassination of President Trump.
Kamala
I believe that decision was political.
See you, sir.
I believe that decision was partisan, and the political leadership of Secret Service understaffed the security detail of President Trump. For the same reason, they did not provide security to RFK Jr. There are obvious questions that need to be asked. Why were there not more agents assigned? When the shooter at 3 o'clock came through the magnetometer with a rangefinder, why was he not questioned? Why was he not detained? Today, the acting director said, well, it was a civilian rangefinder that you'd use on a golf course. Well, the last I checked, the guy wasn't there to play golf. There is no benign use for a rangefinder at that rally. And yet they didn't question him when he came in with a rangefinder, and they didn't question him 2.5 hours later when they saw him using the rangefinder to measure the distance to where the president was speaking. He provided no answer as to why the roof was not secure. He provided no answer as to why there was no aerial support, there were no drones, there were no helicopters. And he provided no answer as to why the local law enforcement they were relying on could not communicate with Secret Service. We now know that 1 minute and 57 seconds before the first shot was fired, bystanders spotted the shooter on the roof with a rifle. We've all seen the video on X. Pointing out he has a gun, he's on the roof, pointing it out to local law enforcement. That was 1 minute and 57 seconds before the first shot. If local law enforcement was able to speak to Secret Service, they would have pulled President Trump from the podium and he never would have been shot. And nobody else would have been killed. We also know that a local police officer climbed up to that roof to examine directly what was happening. The shooter pointed his rifle at him. The local police officer got down. That was 24 seconds before the first shot was fired. Presumably that officer has a radio. The Secret Service hasn't told us that. Presumably with the radio, the instant he saw a gunman on the roof with a rifle, you would be in the radio saying, shooter, shooter, gun, gun. 24 seconds is a lot of time for a Secret Service detail to go and pull President Trump down. It's a lot of time for a counter sniper to take out that sniper. The only rational inference is that local police was not able to talk to Secret Service. And from their testimony today, they've done nothing to improve it. Now, another set of questions that I asked, what's the relative size of President Trump's detail compared to Joe Biden's detail compared to the First Lady's detail? The Secret Service refused to answer that question. The obvious follow-up is, what is the relative threat level? Threats are directed at Donald J. Trump. How many threats have been directed at President Biden? How many threats are directed at the First Lady? Those are simple questions that require ability. I hope and expect we will get them. But the critical question, and I want to underscore the call was from multiple senators, the whistleblowers. I believe from the evidence we know now is a political bias at the top, at the leadership of the Secret Service, that led to insufficient agents and insufficient resources being devoted to protecting President Trump. And if it is true, need to see on writing the discussion of why they didn't act sufficiently to keep the president safe. All right, Mike, please next.
The late Associate Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. used to say that there's a point of contact in every case, and he defined that point as the place where the boy got his finger caught in the machinery. Comparing that statement here, we might say it's a point of failure. Where are the points of failure that the Secret Service should have acknowledged? Where are the points of failure that after 17 days since this assassination attempt, the Secret Service still hasn't even answered the most basic questions? Let's look at what some of those were. First of all, why on earth did they ever let Donald Trump take the stage? He'd already been identified as a suspicious sent those things along to the Secret Service. Why on earth did they not remove President Trump from the stage after spectators and local law enforcement assigned to help protect the president had noticed that there was a guy with a rifle on a roof. By the way, it was a sloped roof, and noticeably absent today was the sloped roof defense. I don't understand exactly what role that played in their initial announcements. Now, after they've got roof to adopt a phased slope. That was absurd, as was the Secret Service's initial denials of requests made to the Secret Service for additional protection. Also unanswered, but that falls squarely within the context of the point of contact or the point of failure. Why on earth did the snipers assign to the second story window with the clear view of that infamous sloped roof, a clear view of where stood and tried to kill President Trump? Why was that initially with snipers, with sharpshooters, and then abandoned at some point before the shooting took place? Now look, these are and should be obvious and easy basic questions for the Secret Service to answer, and they have had no fewer than 17 days since the attack to answer these questions. These are questions that they should have started asking and probably should have been able to answer within 24 hours. And yet, again and again and again, what I heard, what my heard if you were watching, was that doesn't cut it. These are legitimate questions. And for the reasons identified, it's one of the call us to defer to have confidence in them. Nobody wants to believe the worst, suspect the worst about what happens within government. But when they lie to us repeatedly, they refuse to answer the most basic questions. When they willfully decline to take any of the most basic precautions in order to protect the president, the former president, and I hope the next president of the United States, one has to wonder. Remember, King David didn't personally kill Uriah the Hittite, but he let him go out into a battlefield where he knew there was an imminent risk of grave bodily injury, and he made sure he didn't have adequate protection. We've got to get to the bottom of these questions to make sure that Donald Trump was not intended to be a Uriah the Hittite.
Well, yeah, we have to get King David his own representation. John Cornyn, go ahead.
Well, it's obvious there were multiple points of failure on this day where that resulted in the loss of one life and 3 injured individuals, including the former president of the United States and Republican nominee for president in 2024.
3, 4.
Some of the things that struck me were, for example, the drone.
$77. What's happening, y'all? You hanging out, chilling? What's going on? We should dig
where everybody was and where they were not. And amazingly, when the Secret Service tried to use their drone, they said there was a
Animal
network
magic
congestion. I asked the obvious question: why, if the shooter's drone worked, why didn't the Secret Service's drone work? And they said, well, we're looking into that. Secondly, as you know, the drones are ubiquitous these days, and they can also be weaponized. So there would not have been even the necessity for the shooter to have a gun if he had an ability to deploy a weaponized drone that day, something that the Secret Service was completely unprepared to deal with. I asked, do you have electronic warfare or jamming capability? And they said, well, we really can't do that here. Another one of their multiple points of failure. And then, as you heard from my colleagues up here, the fact that a suspicious individual was identified, the acting director wanted to say, well, it wasn't until we saw the gun that we knew he would be a threat. But the fact of the matter is, the service allowed President Trump a suspicious individual. would never have occurred in the first place. Next, the Secret Service simply tried to delegate to local law enforcement their responsibility to keep their protectees safe. And acting director made the point of saying Secret Service is the elite in law enforcement, and I believe that's true. These are the best of the best. But then, for some reason, when it came to provide protection to President Trump, they delegated this to local law enforcement. Obviously, people less trained to deal with the sorts of that they saw that day, resulting in another form of failure. Finally, the lack of communication or ability to communicate the threat to the agents on the stage with the president was another failure, because they had been able to have simply a walkie-talkie or radio which would have communicated from the field directly to the agents. They could have asked the president to keep his seat and to stay out of harm's way.
Stop messing my live
But
up.
the fact of the matter is, the Secret Service has now been transferred since 2008 to the Department of Homeland Security. Now, why should that cause any of us concerns? Well, you've seen the job that the Department of Homeland Security is doing at the southern border, with about 1 million people released in the interior of the United States. Alejandro Mayorkas should have resigned years ago, completely incompetent, lied to Congress, and now he's in charge of the Secret Service because they're part of the Department of Homeland Security. Obviously, we need to look at this matter from the bottom, and we need to fix the Secret Service. No future candidates or existing office holders are exposed to this sort of threat again.
Thanks, John. I just want to put an explanation on this and questions. I think my colleagues did an excellent job pointing out both the individual failures by the Secret Service on the day of this assassination attempt. And that's why we need a crisis intervention team to go right now. We don't have to wait to see what the findings are from all the studies that we're doing right now. That being said, we need to make sure we cover every stone, and that's why we need some type of an independent, non-political commission to dive deep into this. So we'll stop there. We'll have some questions. Josh, and go ahead.
Was there ever any discussion in the planning stage about communicating from the advance team to Trump's security detail or the campaign risks of the clear line of sight from the AGR building? Based on your discussions with...
We haven't got any of that. They haven't told us that. With the simple question is, why wasn't it inside the perimeter to begin with? That'd be the simple question, right? That hasn't even been answered. We haven't been told how many rings or perimeters they had.
I'll
They had
put
one,
that
two,
up
or
there.
three.
You know how many
I mean,
times I
obviously
run
they
my
had two,
head
but
into
they had the third one to push out. This is only 150 yards, 140 yards from the platform. When you're setting up a perimeter, you take all points of advantage. You take the water tower, and you take every building around there that has direct sight. That is your third perimeter. That's your outer perimeter. So there was obviously no communication about it, but it would be the Secret Service that would be in charge of getting out the site planning to begin with. So I would assume not, but they haven't told us.
I think the frustrating thing is that there was no standard operating procedures defined or followed. Where should this first perimeter be? How far should it go out? Should there be any buildings left within 500 yards of the president with a direct line? Well, obviously there should not be. When do we decide to get President Trump more protection? There seemed to be no guidance. It seemed to be too political of an opportunity here. John?
Well, sir, I was going to ask, I think it came up during hearing that someone said they felt they were about 1,500 people short in terms of manpower. Is it conceivable that it's a budget issue? They don't have the coverage because they don't have the financial resources.
Yeah. I think we doubled their budget in the last 10 years. They have 8,000 agents protecting 33 people. They need to be able to roll up the people that are sitting and doing nothing in those offices. And I say nothing. I shouldn't be that clear. They are doing important things. But obviously, in this situation, President Trump probably needed 4 or 5 times that. I would argue that it would be next to impossible to make that particular site safe for the president. It's going to take more than just throwing money at it. And I think certainly it starts with leadership. And that's what we're lacking right now is leadership.
The AIC would be the one that the agent charge would be the one that would ask that. The whole venue that was setting up the protective perimeters would be the one that would set how many personnel he needs to guard it specifically. And so I think one question that would need to be asked, was the request given and was it denied? That'd be a simple communication because that should be, those site plans for the setting up the perimeters, that should have been given out that should be documentation. There's no question about it. I mean, when we used to do site planning, we would actually draw it out and that'd be part of the briefing. You would put it up on the wall or you put it on an email, really don't want to go out and do it. I was doing it, but you'd put it up on the wall and you would actually assign here's building A, B, C, D, or building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, and how many people it's going to take to secure that building and walk off all that whole perimeter. And that would be your personnel that you set by those perimeters. So without that, we don't know actually how many people were actually needed to protect that site, to make it secure.
Well, given what happened, I think it's indisputable that there were not sufficient evidence that room was not secured. There were not agents in place to be aware of the sniper. There were not agents in place. There were not counter snipers who had visibility on the shooter. There was no aerial assets. We know from public reporting there have been multiple requests from the Trump team for additional agents, for additional equipment, and that those requests had been turned down. At the hearing, I asked, what is the relative size of the Secret Service detail that was assigned to Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, compared to the Secret Service detail that is assigned to Joe Biden, compared to the Secret Service detail that is assigned to the First Lady? There were reports that on the day of the rally, the Secret Service transferred agents from Donald Trump's detail to protect the First Lady. Now, look, it is important to protect the First Lady. But the acting director refused to answer any question about the relative size of how many agents are assigned. And what I believe happened is the Secret Service was treating Donald Trump as a former president. Former presidents are given Secret Service details, but not that extensive as Secret Service details. Typically, the threat profile a former president is facing is significantly less than Donald Trump is facing. Donald Trump is not just a former president. He is the Republican nominee to be president, and he is one of two people who is likely to be president of the United States. How many credible threats there are is so important because this decision is supposed to follow the threats. And I believe what the Department of Homeland Security did, what Alejandro Mayorkas did, is they didn't want to assign that additional protection because they didn't want to confer, I guess, legitimacy to Trump. I think it is the very same reasoning that led them to deny a Secret Service detail to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because the fact that RFK Jr. is running is politically inconvenient to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and giving Secret Service detail would legitimize
That's right,
it.
baby.
That's their reasoning.
10 million.
Congress and the American people deserve to see in writing why they said
that
no,
10?
because if you're actually
What's up,
doing
10?
your job, the job of the Secret Service,
Trump
there
2024,
should
baby.
have been
How's
additional
everything going?
agents.
I
There
hope
should have
everything
been
is
agent
well
on
with
that
you, my good brother.
roof.
So check
The
it out.
shooter should
This
have
is the
been
one the boss made
detained
today.
and
You
questioned,
see
and there should
that?
have been aerial assets. None of those
Pretty
happened.
ass line.
And today, Secret Service answered none of
I
those questions
told
as to
him.
why they didn't happen.
Let me make it in the milling machine. And that's what you get. You get crisp ass lines all the way around, baby.
Can you talk about, first of all, what that would look like? Is that different than what's happening in the House side? They have a bipartisan commission that
There we go.
they've put up. Is there
Also be happy.
women?
Well, my partner Mary was blown away. In fact, she joined, and
Amazing.
yeah, it's just it's a great organization, and I imagine they're probably up to their eyeballs right now in, well, you're up to your eyeballs,
Only guy
all
can
of which I
save
want to get to. But first thing first, have you been at a pool today?
Yes. Well, listen.
I've not been in a pool day.
God's got angels. God's got
feel
us
like
that
I have
He uses
PTSD
to do
from
the
swimming.
work for Him.
You know, growing up
Right?
in somewhere you
So
swim.
you don't literally got to put
In
hands.
college,
We
I used
are.
to
We're
swim 6
extension
hours
of
every day.
God, right? We were
So now
created
I
from
kind of
God.
have to be
We are
forced to
of
even get in the
God.
shower. I'm like,
We
no,
are
I don't want to get my hair wet.
We procreate
But I
within
do
the
a lot
world
of, I
that
do
God
still swim.
creates.
I'm swimming Alcatraz next month. I do a lot of running and triathlons
So we're not quite
and
gods.
marathons and different things.
We are
So
like
I love being
demigods.
active.
We are
I love exercising and
image
working
of our
out.
Father,
All
like
of those
a
things. Still
junior
a very big part of me and who I am. I love
What do you mean
competing.
you're swimming Alcatraz? You're swimming from San Francisco to Al.
Have you ever felt like there's something special about you? Something that sets you apart from everyone else? Maybe you...
I want to thank everyone joining us. We apologize for Democrats have an important caucus they're at, conference and we've had some technical difficulties here. We'll now share himself an opening statement. Alvin Bragg's prosecution of President Trump is lawfare at its worst. New York County Attorney's Office began investigating Trump in 2018. Southern District of New York months later concluded its investigation into the payments by Michael Cohen and determined no charges should be brought against President Trump. While this was going on, Alvin Bragg was running for the job. While on the campaign trail, Mr. Bragg boasted about the number of times he'd already in Trump. January, the experience of Trump, close quote. He said that it'd be hard to argue with the fact that any case against President Trump would be the most important, most high-profile case. Mr. Bragg won and took office in January 2022. After taking office, one of his prosecutors, Mark Pomerantz, quote, he could not see a world when he would indict President Trump and call Michael Cohen as a prosecution witness. That's right. After campaigning on going after gets into this and realizes the case against President Trump is ridiculous. That is why the Southern District of New York didn't bring it. That's why his predecessor, Cy Vance, didn't bring it. Why did Bragg change his mind? Mark Pomerantz, Special Assistant District Attorney, resigned in protest, and he and his fellow Assistant District Attorney, Kerry Dunn, leaked their resignation letter to the New York Times. After that, the left began campaign on Alvin Bragg, and suddenly the zombie was erected. The first thing Alvin Bragg did was hire Matthew
Yes, y'all a
Colangelo,
question.
a top official by the Justice Department who had a history of taking on President Trump and his family's businesses. Also, it's interesting who Mr. Colangelo listed as when he applied for the job at the Justice Department.
I'm just wondering that. This is, you know. Just a little question, right? Hey, everybody, oh, hey, 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 hey. I don't need no more copyrights, people. You know what I'm saying? Can you dig it? That's what they keep smacking me with.
Remove all that stuff. As I told Jackie,
Put the radio on
the next time we
in the
move,
background.
it's probably gonna be
I hope it don't.
I will not resist.
Air's on. You hear that? Nice and loud, loud, very loud. The two of y'all. What's happening, y'all? Good for the thumbs up. Appreciate y'all. Some of you guys, I got some pretty cool tools down here, man. Some interesting stuff that we're going to do here in the future. Absolutely. You guys like machining? Does it interest you at all? Kind of crazy, man. We're down to 35 people, yo. 55, back up. All right.
Speaker Johnson.
he would be held responsible and accountable for that. What the immunity does is protect you from policy and decisions and trying to do the job of the president. You don't want to prosecute people just because you disagree with them, and that's what it's designed to protect. Not to allow presidents to commit crimes. That's ludicrous. But he's
talking to a pretty brain-dead base, so he'll believe anything.
That's true.
The president must answer to the law. The president is
Apply to you?
No, it doesn't.
We're a nation of laws, not kings and dictators.
The nerve! Unmitigated gall of this guy.
The decision can be boiled down to a Title I case, Trump versus the United States. The court asserted it was making a ruling for the agents. That isn't true. The court made a ruling for one, a former president. No other president in our history has asked for this kind of immunity for criminal actions. And no president, no former president, not me, not one, should have been given the exception. Such
He nailed that line so much that I gotta hear it.
You want to hear this again?
Yeah, just for emphasis, because it was so powerful.
You can't prosecute people you
He's wrapping
disagree
up point 1 of 3.
Prosecute?
So
You're
he
right.
gets it out of the
You
park,
can't.
like you said.
All right, let's hear that one more time.
Former president. No other president in our history has asked for this kind of immunity for criminal actions. And no president, no former president.
Right on, bro. I ain't gonna put it up to my ass though. Thanks for the warning. Appreciate that. Make sure y'all go hit that subscribe button, guys. Please subscribe button. We've been getting there. Let's see something.
It's dead on arrival anymore. That's
Term
convincing.
limits for presidents of the United States for only 75 years.
Okay, you can't see me.
And I believe we should have term limits for Supreme Court justices in the United States as well.
Shut up, Joe. Stop being mad because you're man.
Senators did to America. States no longer have a voice. Why don't we leave the founders' vision alone?
The United States is the only major constitutional democracy that gives lifetime seats in the High Court. Term limits will help ensure that the court membership changes with some regularity. That would make timing the Bush nomination more predictable and less arbitrary. Reduce the chance that any single presidency imposes undue influence in generations to come.
Like you did, Joe?
Commission I can meet, analyze various term structures.
I hope you're proud of yourself to be in the book as the worst president that has ever been a president in the United States of America. You're the worst president ever.
This is probably an attack on the confirmation process that's been weaponized by those seeking to carry out an extreme agenda for decades.
The absolute worst
These guys mean
ever.
These guys mean Project 2025.
Oh, there it is.
They mean it.
I hope they do.
I'm calling for binding code of conduct for the Supreme Court.
Yeah!
There's some bad people in there.
Because some of them have flags and to put them up. And we don't want that anymore.
Glad to hear you say that.
Yeah. There's one of those guys has a flag and they put it up in their yard. And it was upside down. And I don't like that.
You don't like it?
So let's get him out of office.
I know we're going to talk about Venezuela later, but there were some Cuban-American congressmen and women who came out yesterday after this speech and said the first thing Nicolas Maduro did in Venezuela was change the Supreme Court.
I believe it.
Da-da-da.
I believe it. They're always following the playbook of socialists and Nazis and fascists. Always. And then they simply blame the other side for it. It's their MO, and they're really good at it. They just keep doing it. Meanwhile, here's something Kamala Harris said about the Supreme Court. This should concern all of us.
So I will say that I am interested in having that conversation, and I'm open to this conversation about extending the number of people on the United States Supreme Court, about increasing the number of people on the United States Supreme Court.
Oh, how about we don't do that?
Yeah.
And do you think any of this talk?
Well, let's at least have a conversation about it. Can we?
We'll have a conversation.
Yeah, we need to have a couple of conversations. One is about race.
Okay.
Okay. When are we going to have that discussion? When will that conversation take place? When we talk about race and racial issues in this nation. And another one is talking about the size of the U.S. Supreme Court, which has never in our history exceeded 9 people. But I want it to, because I want to pack the court with as many people who are like-minded with me as possible.
Do you think that the left will be having this conversation about altering the court and expanding the court and all that fun stuff if they had the power right now and they were nominating you?
You know they wouldn't. No. The answer is no. Everybody knows here. Because when they did have the advantage, or when it was even close, they didn't have this concern. It's only when things go against their point of view and their agenda. I don't think they're going to have a fit.
They use the courts for their agendas, for judicial activism. And oh my gosh, I can't imagine. If you really step back and look at the court, it's pretty moderate. It is a pretty very balance. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So stop with this radical agenda on the court, far right-wing extremists. Shut up, man.
I mean, it's garbage. What they keep screaming about is garbage. I don't know how many decisions that have gone against the conservative flow they've made in Wall but it's considerable. It's a lot. And it's to the point where Coney Barrett is like, have you switched sides now?
The trajectory for her is bad, not good. No. Roberts is Mr. Mush, who's been in the middle.
All right, let me tell you about the Impure Thunderstorm. Man, is this thing fantastic. We have used these so much lately. In the middle, when you go into a new house and there's just weird smells, you know, I don't even know what they're just offensive to me. I love it. In seconds, that smell.
It's just weird. It's really weird.
Public weirdness goes saving
Some of the things that are weird, the weird style that he brings, weird policies, with the weird thing, because it is a thing.
That's blatantly weird.
Weird was just talking about.
4 of them. 10 likes. That's awesome, y'all. You go over and subscribe to the channel, guys. Man. Face my jaws back off. Nicholas, how you doing, bro? Well, guys, we're at 8:13. Get over and hit the subscribe button to the channel. I really appreciate it, man. Look at that. Beautiful cut. Oh, baby, you guys are awesome, man. 63. Hey, check this out. We're turning this bad boy on down. Some cold rolled steel right here. We'll take our time with it and take little biddles and bits off of this bad boy. Those of you guys that watch me in the morning and see where I'm working at in the morning, this is what I do. This is my hobby. Make sure you hit that button. Hit that chat with your friends to get it out there, man. Where's all my guys last night? We ain't trolling today? What happened? You get grounded? Right here with you guys, man. Show my shelf. I'm actually trying to fix the video on the computer because it kind of sucked really bad. So I'm trying to see why it sucks kind of bad. Texas, baby. I was born in Fort Worth, y'all. Love Texas. Amazing place. Yes, it is. My last name is Adkins. I got family that still lives down there. The Wrights. My Aunt Evelyn and my Uncle Bill Wright. subscribe button. We got 816 on the subscriber count. Only because of y'all, man. Y'all are so great. That is your greatness, guys. To love. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are amazing, bro. 100%. I pray that y'all stay part of my community, man. Go over to the Patreon. You can subscribe to the Patreon also. Even if you just join for free, just get over there and see what I offer, man. Maybe you'll want the rest, and you'll see that it's for a good cause. You know, look. Let me say it like this, right? When you subscribe to the channel, you already know what you're dealing with, right? You're dealing with a recovering addict, but you see what I'm doing here. I'm dedicated. I do this every day, man. I'm not here to smoke crack. We don't do none of that dumbass stuff. We don't want none of that dumbass stuff in this chat around kids, anything like that, man. We want to grow here. That's what this is about, bro. This ain't my job. But I love to do it because I got to use my brains, and it eats up my time, so I'm not out there on them streets. You get what I'm saying? And if there's guys in here with an addiction, this is something that you may need to look into for yourself. Right? That's kind of what NA is for. It eats up your time, so you have no time to sit around and just think about messing up. And people to tell you, oh, it's part of recovery. Messing up is just part of recovery. It's okay. It's not okay. Messing up is not part of recovery. Recovering is part of recovery. And believe me, you're talking to a person that messed up quite a few times. However, the job of us to do is get out there and get it in. We're supposed to be getting it and taking care of our home and our families, bro. And a lot of us slipped. When we're going through, you know, mental shit, right? We was going through some mental shit. So now, we're not going through that mental stuff no more. Right? And it's not, look, I never went to the doctor and went and got medicated. I never did none of that. Like, I'm not doing all that. If this is the way God chose me to be, well, then we're going to figure it out. And the best part is we can do that together. You don't have to do it by yourself. And I know I don't either. All I got to do is turn the video on, and I'm right there. I'm looking at myself right now. It's a delay, but I'm still looking at myself. 90 y'all, how y'all doing? Hit that subscribe button for me, please, y'all. Subscribe, please, y'all. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, waving from Texas. I don't see the waving hand though, Peter. That's my name too, Peter. Adkins Fabrication. Adkins is my last name. My first name is Peter. Your mother's a fucking crackhead. How about that, Jones? Jewetta Venice? Yeah, that's you guys' problem. You know now. You can't just be, here comes the trollers. Welcome. Welcome. I'll be your crackhead. Bet you won't come down here and say, no smart. Cornwall, England. Cornwall, you guys do a lot of good machining out there. You do any machining, sir? This is my hot top right here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for me too, Joe. The Joe really don't matter. Oh. Well, you do machine. Awesome. What kind of machining do you do? I'm trying to get into models, Joe. I like I want to get into steam engines and stuff like that. Like, I really find that really fascinating. But it's hard. And things are so expensive, man. It's ridiculous. What I would spend in 1 week on one of that, I almost eat for 3 days. What, $300? Some of them, some at your low end, some of them are thousands of dollars. Thousands. Yeah. But I love it. I want to get into that. One day maybe I'll be a famous YouTuber that can afford it. But good luck. Or one in England. Hey, do me a favor, Joe. Make sure you share this for me too, man. Miniature scale. Yes, sir. That's exactly right. Yes, sir. Miniature scale. Yep. I should have said that. $91 people here watching, man. Do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button. I deeply appreciate it, my crackhead ass, you know, as Jonas' brother would put it. Wow. Wow, man. Wow. Ooh, I wanna hit what? You do it. The Jonas brother must be a come out of the hair watcher.
What are you, some kind of glutton? Some don't even eat that.
Yeah.
That's just weird to have to do it.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate you, Joe, very much, man. Thank you very much.
And we'll share it with you. Got up.
Yes, sir. I deeply appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. If you got a channel, I will find yours too, Joe, and I will be subscribing. Leave your channel name down there.
Some tweets to share. Bad engineer tweets. Perhaps the cadaver-in-chief should enforce the law that prevents
At
harassment of
68
judges.
watching now, started streaming 102 minutes ago.
Anthony Oach.
Yeah, we just could keep it rolling, baby.
Yeah, because those guys are sleeping with
You know what I mean?
spies. Oh, constantly.
Y'all want to watch a little machining?
All the time. Oh, boy. Jack's out of that. What part of three equal branches of government does the left not understand?
guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. I really appreciate it. And just remember, if you guys ever need anything machined, man, please let me know. If I can machine it, I will. Be my pleasure. Oxford's going on. Is the ladies better than the ladies? Oh, yeah. Right in the list. God damn it! Right in the list. Guys, man. I'm sending all them hearts to all my subscribers, everybody that's subscribed, everybody that's watching, all that. Thank you. Thank you to all y'all. So tell me what it is about the milling machine that you guys like better than the lathe. that like button for me, guys. Make sure you subscribe.
whatsoever. They made the mistake, though, of entering the building along with the crowd. They went in, but they departed peacefully as so many thousands of others, but that was enough to It felt like I was trying to breathe the oxygen of freedom through a straw from underneath the swamp. You're being held in solitary confinement, which is essentially torture, according to Steve Baker. There was a problem getting this message out because they tend to punish you more when you mention these things. And that's what is happening to Steve. And John Strand said that's exactly what happened to me. They fabricated a whole series of ridiculous circumstances to put me in isolation for a couple of weeks, basically to say, watch out, we'll crush you if you look sideways at us. They pulled me out for a couple of days, and then a story that I had nothing to do with went viral on media. Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene reported on me being tortured and abused, and they put me in this interrogation room and grilled me about this. Like I had something to do with it. Like a scene out of a movie. Then they threw me back in, and I wasn't seen again for 3.5 months. This is because he entered the building and walked around for a few minutes and left, and did nothing to it. Committed no violence, beat no police officers, broke nothing inside, and for that, was sentenced to 32 months. It's incredible. Injustice like this, and you think, there's no country. What's the country we talking about over there? What's that story from? And you just can't believe it. You just can't believe it's coming. These lives have been wrecked financially, emotionally, spiritually. They're damaged. And they didn't do anything wrong. I'm pissed off at you. It doesn't. Oh my gosh. I just went to prison again. Yeah. This time you're gonna hurt. Yeah. Right. That'll be how I would feel. And everything in them. You'll lash out. So God bless these people who have gone through these severe injustices. For sure. Somehow kept their wits about them. God bless them. All right, let me take a minute and talk to business owners for a second. I mean, I know the frustration that you face every day with increased regulation, the impact of inflation. I experience that in my business as well. And interest rates. All of those things affect the bottom line. There is a solution, though, that's been built specifically to help you save money. And most importantly, align you with an alliance of like-minded business owners that share your values. You're not alone. I know it feels like you are sometimes, but you're not. And by joining with other business owners, you're going to amplify your voice to the idiots in Washington who hate your guts. The Freedom Chamber is now open for business. Who would have guessed that this would ever be a necessity? That you would need something called the Freedom Chamber because the Chamber of Commerce has gotten into the government. It sucks! But the Freedom Chamber is there for you. You're going to receive exclusive benefits to help your business grow while being rooted in their values of faith, family, and freedom. The Freedom Chamber is pro-American business network. Join with other American businesses all across commercial sectors. The Freedom Chamber's mission is to promote values while fostering the growth, sustainability, and success of member companies. The Freedom Chamber is a dynamic and innovative organization with comprehensive support, robust resources, and exclusive networking opportunities. It's going to be great. And to align your values with something that's for business, there's nothing better than that. Join today at freedomchamber.net. That's freedomchamber.net.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh wow, I didn't have that up there. I just fixed that knob. The screw, it's got a set screw in it. It was loose, so I tightened it back up. So now it goes all the way up, and then all the way down to 0. Perfect.
Got some tweets here. Lone Wolf 2965 tweets. Funny how all the big tech's mistakes seem to fall in one direction against Republicans. I mean, what are the odds?
We've been on line for 2 hours now, guys. That is awesome.
An amazing coincidence how that happens. To help me in the significance of time. Get it right. It's the significance of the passage of time. Can we fast forward to inauguration date, January 2025, unburdened by Biden-Harris? Yes, please.
8:29.
Chris is gone this week, so I don't know. Lance, do you know that website that tells how long?
Well, I know
8:29,
I know
yeah.
we're 98 days from the election.
Yes. A little bit longer than that, obviously, to the inauguration.
Do you want to trust Keith math here? And 25 days to November.
Okay.
And then 31 for December.
Yeah.
56.
And then 19 or 20 more for January.
Thanks, Steve.
You got 30 minutes right there. So we're 30 minutes.
Yeah, you're 163 days. Or 100. Good night.
Let's just say it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. To a country near you.
Every minute.
You ain't country? Now that our debt is over $35 trillion, what exactly did we put up as collateral? Oh, I think we're going to be surprised. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure that's how debt works, and I don't remember any of the details. Yeah, nobody does.
The details are...
like China owns everything.
The cost of living now.
Yeah. BYU mullethead tweets, we can't afford homes, and rent is as much as a mortgage payment. It's like they just don't want us to own anything and be happy with it. Isn't it though? Yeah, it sounds a little bit like Venezuela.
Oh my gosh, what they have been going through for 30 years down there could so easily be our story if we're not careful and get our elections on lockdown.
Some chaos happening right now there. Disputed election results as Maduro is trying to hold on to power.
Yeah.
Now, the information was that the opposition got 70% of the vote.
That's where he was when they decided to hide the process.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to go to count now. Yeah. Start playing this video, please. This right here, this is a polling place, and they decided, we're going to close up shop early. And
people trying to get in.
Yeah, they're like, I don't think you're going to be doing that.
Wow.
And I love seeing the pushback by
good for them.
Venezuelans, because this has been going on for 3 days now.
Well, they're sick and tired of it. I think we've mentioned this before. There was a time when Venezuela was the richest nation in Central and South America, and one of the richest nations, probably after us, in the Western Hemisphere.
Yep.
I think they were second to us.
I think so.
And that was 50s, 60s before socialism kicked in.
Yeah.
And now, you got this. I mean, it's really sad. Really sad.
And to your point, the exit polls showed Gonzalez, the opposition leader, at 65, Maduro at 31. And then the actual tally showed 70% for Gonzalez. But then when the election council came back, it said, no, we counted the votes. It's actually 51.2 to 44.2. Maduro wins again.
Ha! Comeback!
Right?
Who saw that going on? Comeback! This guy's incredible.
Absolutely. Stolen from the people. What's the next video we have out of Venezuela?
Citizen capturing.
Oh, yeah. So they're in the streets, man. They're pushing back. Let's play this, please. I mean, look at that. They captured a tank. That's ours now. That's ours. They're not taking it. I absolutely love what is happening there. And they're being shot at in some parts of the country. I know Caracas, I saw a video of forces shooting back at them. Now, the good thing is, play the next video too. The next one they show, it's a statue of Hugo Chavez, who preceded Maduro.
This is reminiscent of Iraq, early 90s.
Yeah.
With Saddam Hussein coming down.
In 2003, right? When the Saddam...
Oh, yeah. When it was, yes. By the time it finally came down. Yeah.
So there you go. I hope this lasts, and good luck to them.
I know. It's hard.
Now, I did see a video this morning. Now, here was I didn't send this video in, but what it said was, it showed officers that just had T-shirts on. They had taken off their uniforms, and it said, police officers in Venezuela are now taking off their uniforms in defiance of Maduro, and as a signal they won't carry out his orders anymore. I hope that's accurate. God bless the people of Venezuela. Apparently, Javier Milei said
Hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that subscribe. Subscribe for me.
Yeah, we're gonna build. I think we're gonna build. No, somewhere. Somewhere that's not, well, in this little rental situation, we've been in really, different circumstances for the last, 20 years of homes, where we kind of bought what we really, really wanted all our lives, and so we did, and it has a little more room. This temporary situation is not exactly like that, in that when you
Afghanistan before and after.
We're still sending money.
Yeah. So here's the math that I did. Okay, the average salary in America is around $60,000 a year before taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the average American is in the workforce for 40 years. So over the course of a lifetime, that average American has earned $2.4 million total before taxes. Again, check the math. That's a disclaimer. That U.S. government that you pay taxes to has spent more than $2.5 billion to Afghanistan and sent it to the Taliban since the withdrawal of 2021, or over 1,000 years of your workforce lifetimes.
This is something we never hear about. How can this possibly still be going on?
It's tapering down.
Oh my God.
I don't care. It should taper down to zero.
It's tapering down. We just cut it off.
Yes. It's astounding.
It is incredible.
And it's just sickening. It's sickening, man. It's
one thing after another, too, that we have to hear about with this kind of stuff. My God.
What do you do, man?
Complain. And it comes to nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's great.
That's thoughts, but they're probably not for air.
That would be my guess. Yeah.
I don't want to be on the news later.
Right.
All right. It hurts, man. It hurts. It hurts. And God bless our troops and all of the military members who were over there for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And then this just
now we're doing this.
That's insult to injury.
Wow.
And never mind the heartache, the avoidable travesty that happened in 2021.
Yeah. All right, let me take a minute to tell you about LATHE Health. Americans are hurting. Healthcare costs are out of control, of course, and we know government isn't the answer. So what is? Try LATHE Health. That's LASY. LAASY. LATHE Health. That's not health insurance. It's access to the health care you want without all the red tape, the restrictions, and the inflated costs. This is a great way to get coverage and an affordable way to get coverage. Starts at just $30 a month, and you get transparent pricing, comprehensive coverage, tailored to your needs. You're not paying for a bunch of stuff that you don't need, you don't use. And you get access to healthcare services without breaking the bank.
Hey guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, please, man.
You can start a
hit that like and share.
You don't have to wait for a sign-up period. Fantastic. For only $30 a month, you get over 400 prescription medications free.
We are up to 834, guys.
Counseling, free 24/7 virtual urgent care, lab tests up to 60% off, imaging tests up to 75% off, and procedures and surgeries over 50% off. You can even get plans with vision and dental, primary care, and comprehensive healthcare coverage. People are saving thousands on everything from MRI scans to ER visits, hospitalizations, and a lot more. And high blood pressure, high cholesterol,
Okay, so we've been suffering enough. Get your back
Good. Glad you got your beating yesterday. Good. Yeah. Okay. So,
All right, guys. That's
should we
it.
go, like, to get your back to the-
Signing off for the night. I'll see y'all tomorrow in the morning.
know why, if I don't want to put that in my body, that I can't play anywhere in the world.
I love y'all. Thank y'all very much. Make sure you try it out. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all in the morning.
So, there you
See ya.
Who is right, I wonder, in the end? Because